Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the subject Foreign Language 1. My name is Tang, lecturer in Department of Foreign Language. I'm very excited to start Module 7 with you today. This module is titled The World Around Us. Let's take a look at the table of contents for today's lesson. Here's what we're going to study in this unit. In this lesson, we'll focus on different skills, language, vocabulary, reading, listening, and speaking. First, we'll look at some grammar points. We'll learn how to use can and can't, review question words, and practice articles. Next, we'll study new vocabulary about animals and natural features, words to describe the natural world. Then we read a passage called Amazing Facts about the natural world. It's full of interesting information. After that, we listen to an audio called Man's Best Friends and learn more about animals that help people. Finally, we'll have a speaking activity. You'll describe your favorite animal. So, this unit is all about animals and nature. It's going to be fun and full of useful English practice. By the end of this lesson, you'll be able to talk confidently about animals and use the grammar structures correctly. So, let's jump into the first part of today's lesson. Grammar focus, can and can't for ability. This is part 1. Language focus, can and can't for ability. Now we learn how to talk about what people or animals can or can't do. We use can to show ability and can't to show no ability. We use can when someone is able to do something. For example, dolphins can swim fast. We use can't when someone is not able to do something. For example, dolphins can't walk. Look at the title, The Natural World. What do you think this text is about? Yes, we'll read about some amazing facts, especially about animals and what they can or can't do. Now, please read the text carefully. We are going to find 3 facts that tell us about animals' abilities. What animals can or can't do. When you find one, underline it. Read quietly and underline 3 facts. Remember, we only want facts about animals, not people or places. Okay, who can tell me one fact you underlined? Elephants can't jump. Pigs can't look up at the sky. And kangaroos can't walk backwards. Dogs can't see colors. Chimpanzees can learn sign language. Excellent! Those are all facts about animals' abilities. Alright, everyone, look at the screen. What can you see here? Animals and action verbs. Exactly. We have animals and some action words. Today, you'll make sentences using can or can't to describe their abilities. So, we're talking about what animals are able or not able to do. You need to make at least 6 sentences. using the words in the boxes. You can mix and match, choose one animal and one action, and decide whether it can or can't to do that. For example, elephants can't jump. Simple, right? Now it's your turn. Make your own sentences. Now let's practice pronunciation. We're going to focus on the difference between can and can't. These two words look almost the same, but they sound different, and the meaning changes completely. So listen carefully. First, can. Repeat after me. Can. Dogs can swing. Good. Again. Dogs can swing. Notice that can is short and the vowel sound is eh. Dogs can swing. Now, can't. Listen. Can't. Elephants can't jump. Repeat after me. Elephants can't jump. Good. This one is longer and stronger, and you can hear the t sound at the end. Can't. Let's listen again and compare. Dogs can swim. Elephants can't jump. Can you hear the difference? The first one is short. The second one is longer and stronger. Let's try together. Ready? Great work, everyone. You've just practiced how to pronounce can and can't. Now let's use them in real conversation. We're going to do a fun speaking activity called Ask and Answer. You'll ask your classmates questions to find out what people in this class can or can't do. For example, who in the class can play the guitar, or who can sing well? What question do we use? Aslan, we say, can you play chess? Or can you make clothes? And how do we answer? Yes, I can. No, I can't. Good. You can also ask more detail like, yes, but not very well, or no, but I'd like to learn. Let's see an example. Can you play chess? Yes, but not very well. Good, or maybe, no, I can't. Now it's your turn. Today, we're going to have some fun with a short animal quiz. This activity will test your general knowledge, not just about animals, but also about the world around us. Don't worry, it's not a real test. It's just for fun and to get you talking. You'll work in pairs to guess the answers. Some questions may surprise you. Before we begin, can you think of one interesting or strange fact you know about animals? For example, I know that elephants can't jump. What about you? Now look at the animal quiz on the screen. You'll see a list of 9 questions. Work in pairs and see how many you can answer without looking back at the text. Try to guess. It doesn't matter if it's wrong. You have about 5 minutes. Talk with your partner and write down your guesses. Okay, let's check your answers together. Which pair thinks they got the most correct answers? Let's see. Alright everyone, you've done the quiz. Great job guessing. Now let's find out how many of your answers were correct. This time, we're going to look back at the text and check your answers carefully. Remember, don't just look for numbers or facts. Try to notice how the answers are written in the text, the language and sentence patterns too. Open your books and look at the text again. Work in pairs, the same pattern as before. Check your answers in the quiz and correct any that were wrong. When you find the right information, underline it or highlight it in the text. You have about 5 minutes for this step. Okay, let's check the answers together. I'll read each question, and I want one pair to tell us the correct answer. And maybe someone else can confirm where in the text they found it. Now that you've checked all the answers, let's look more closely at the questions themselves. In English, questions usually start with a special word. Words like what, how, where, when, why, or which. We call these question words or WH words. Now look back at the quiz questions in the book. In each question, circle the question word, the word that asks for information. Work individually first, then compare the answers with the partner. Okay, let's check together. I'll read each question, and you tell me which words you circled. Question 1. How much does the average person eat during their lifetime? Is how. Question 2. What kind of animal can jump? Is what. Question 3. Which continent has no active volcanoes? Which. Question 4. How fast does the Earth rotate? How. Question 5. How many ants are there in the world? Is how. How long can snails sleep? Is how. Question 7. How do guide dogs know when to cross the road? Is how. Question 8. How far do Arctic terns fly every year? How. The last one, question 9. What is the present population of the world? Is what. Great. Most of the questions begin with how or what, right? That's because we use how to ask about amount, distance, time, or degree, and what to ask for information or facts. Alright, we've reviewed the function of each question word. Now let's put that knowledge into practice. Please look at the screen. The instruction is to choose the correct question word. For each sentence, you have 2 options. You need to read the full questions and decide which word makes the most logical and grammatically correct question. Alright, let's review the answers for exercise 1. Please be ready to share the choice and, importantly, tell us why you choose that word. If the answer is different, please listen carefully and correct your notes. Let's move on to exercise 3. The goal is to complete the questions using the words provided in the box. Look at the box. We have several words. How far, how fast, how many, how much, how old, how tall, and what. Remember the rule. The question words must match the type of information. So asking for, is it a number, a quantity, a distance, an age, or a general thing? I want you to try filling the blanks for all 10 questions. You need to use every word in the box exactly. The number of times indicated, for example, how many and how much are used twice. What is used twice? You have 4 minutes to complete this exercise individually. Time's up. Let's review and check the answers. I'll ask you to read the full completed question. Alright everyone, let's start with something fun. Pets. Do you have a pet at home? Or could you like to have one? What kind of animals do people usually keep as pets in our country? Some people love animals, but others don't like them very much. Today, we're going to read what 3 different people say about pets and see who do you agree with. What can you see in the picture? Does the boy look like he loves his pet? Now look at the dates. You read what 3 people say about animals and pets. Jack, Alex, and Paula. As you read, think about this question. Who do you agree with? Don't worry about every word. Just focus on the main ideas. Ready? Let's read. Look back at the 3 short dates above. Now please underline all the animal words you can find. For example, cat, dog, rabbit. After that, check whether each word has a, the, or no article before it. Working pairs. One of you can read the sentences and the other can underline and mark the articles. Okay, let's check together. What animals did you find? Animal word, cat. A cat. The cat. So, the article is a, the. Dog. A dog. Our dog. The dog. The article is a, the. Rabbit. A rabbit. The rabbit. The article is a, the. Animals. Animals in my family. No article. Dogs. People think dogs don't like cats. No article. Cats. People think dogs don't like cats. No article. Good. Now, what do you notice? When they talk about one specific pet, they use a or the. But when they talk about animals in general, they use no article. Now that we've looked at how a, the, and no article are used in the dates, let's check the grammar rules carefully. You'll see that English uses these little words called articles in different ways. Sometimes we use a, an, sometimes the, and sometimes we don't use any article at all. Let's read the grammar box together to make sure you understand the rules clearly. Look at rule number 1. Can someone read it aloud for the class? We use a, an to talk about things for the first time or when we don't know which one. Good. So, when we mention something for the first time, we use a or an. For example, we got a dog, a cat, and a rabbit. Now, rule number 2. Who can read this one? We use the to talk about specific things or when we know which one. Exactly. So, when we already know the thing, we use the. For example, our dogs really friendly to the cat and the rabbit. That means we already know which dog, cat, and rabbit we're talking about. Finally, rule number 3. Who'd like to read it? We use no article to talk about things in general. Perfect. So, when we talk about things in general, like dogs don't like cats, we don't use a or the. Now look at the 3 rules again. Take the rule if it's the same in the language, and put the cross if it's different. Look at exercise 2A. You'll complete a sentence with a, the, or leave it blank if no article is needed. Work individually first. Talk about 2 minutes to fill in all the blanks. Then we'll check the answers together. Okay, let's check the answers together. Alright, great job everyone. We've just finished learning how to use a, the, and no article. Very useful when you talk about animals and nature. Now let's move on to our next session, vocabulary. In this part, we're going to learn and review some words related to animals and natural features. Things like rivers, mountains, and forests. Take a look at the pictures. What can you see? Can you name any of these animals or natural features? Okay, now look at the box of words in the book. You'll see names like a bird, an insect, a mountain, the earth, and so on. The task is to decide which of these are animals or living things, which are geographical features, and which are planets or other things. Work in pairs and write the words in the correct column. Okay, let's check the answers together. Animals or living things: a bird, an insect, a chimpanzee, a snail, a human being, an elephant, a donkey, a kangaroo, a dolphin. Geographical features: a volcano, a mountain, a lake, a river. Planets: the earth, the moon. Now can you think of any more words for each category? For example, more animals, maybe a lion, a snake, a whale. What about geographical features? A desert, an island, a forest, and other planets or space objects: the Sun, Mars, Venus. Excellent! So, now you've learned how to group vocabulary related to animals and nature. Keep these categories in mind. They'll help you remember words more easily. Wonderful! You've learned some amazing words about nature. Now let's dive deeper and discover some incredible facts about our planet. Are you ready to explore the natural world through reading? Alright everyone, let's have a bit of fun with some interesting facts about our world. Some of these facts are true, but one of them is false. So task is to read carefully and guess which one is not true. Please read all the sentences in the text. Work with a partner. Discuss which fact you think is false and why you think so. Alright, let's check together. Which fact do you think is false? Let's see who guessed correctly. The false fact is Africa is the only continent in the world that doesn't have an active volcano. Actually, this is not true. Africa has several active volcanoes. So, Africa does have active volcanoes. It's not the only continent without them. Okay, everyone. Now let's look at another activity about the same text. You can see some numbers here. 3 years, 8 kilos, 10%, 240, and so on. These numbers all come from the reading passage you've just read. Please look at the exercise. Why are these numbers mentioned in the text? So task is to match each number with the correct fact from the reading. Work with a partner and try to remember what each number refers to. Okay, everyone, let's check the answers together. Let's see how many you got right. Excellent work, everyone. You remembered most of the facts. Some of them sound unbelievable, but they're true. Let's move on to the next part. Alright, everyone. We just finished the reading part about animals and their relationships with humans. You've learned a lot of interesting information, right? Now let's move on to the listening part to find out even more about why dogs and cats are called man's best friends. Before we listen, let's look at the pictures on page 100. What can you see? Yes, that's right. You can see cats and dogs, our lovely pets. Today's listening is called Man's Best Friends. Can you guess what it's about? Now before we listen, I'd like you to discuss these questions with your partner. Question 1. Do you have a pet, cat or dog? If not, you'd like one? Why or why not? Question 2. Do you have any other pets? Question 3. Do you know any pets that can do clever things? You have 3 minutes to talk. Then I'll ask a few pets to share. Thank you for so great ideas about pets. It's interesting to hear that some of you have cats or dogs and even other pets like birds or fish. Now let's look more closely at what cats and dogs can actually do. Please look at exercise 2 on page 100. You can see some pictures of cats and dogs doing different things. Below the pictures, there is a list of activities. Let's read them together. Now look carefully at the photos. Which of these activities can you see? And which activities do you usually associate with cats? Write C. With dogs? Write D. Or with both? Write B. For example, having kittens, that's cats, so write C. You have 3 minutes to do this, then we'll check together. Great work, everyone. Now you know what cats and dogs usually do. You've seen that cats like to keep clean, sleep a lot, and dogs can help the blind or even fight drugs for customs officers. Next, we're going to listen to a radio program about pets, especially cats. Before we listen, look at the questions in Exercise 3A. There are 7 questions about cats. Let's see how many you can answer before listening. Work in pairs and try to guess the answers. You have 2 minutes. Alright, now let's check your guesses by listening to the first part of a radio program about pets. Please listen carefully and check your answers. Did anything surprise you? We're going to listen once first and then check together. Listen carefully.
Module 11, Recording 3.
Cats started living with people as pets thousands of years ago, and now there are about 500 million domestic cats around the world. Cats are usually very good hunters and can catch mice and small birds, although they don't often eat them if they can get normal cat food. In fact, they're very lazy animals. On average, they sleep for about 16 hours a day. They also spend a lot of time keeping themselves clean by washing their fur with their tongues. Male cats are called toms, and female cats are called queens. Female cats are pregnant for about 9 weeks and usually have between 2 and 5 kittens. There are over 100 breeds of cat, and even a hairless cat called the Sphinx cat.
Alright, let's check the answers together. What did you find out about cats? Let's see if the guesses were correct. Now that we know a lot about cats, let's listen to the second part of the radio program. This time it's about dogs. Dogs are often called man's best friend, right? Let's find out why. Please look at Exercise 4 on page 100. You can see a short space with some missing words. Read it quickly to get the general idea. What do you think the missing words might be? Numbers, names, or jobs? Now we'll listen to check the ideas. Listen carefully and write down the missing information.
Module 11, Recording 4.
People say that a dog is a man's best friend. People and dogs first started living together about 10,000 years ago. Now there are 53 million dogs just in the USA. The Americans spend over $2 billion on dog food every year, 4 times what they spend on baby food. Altogether, there are about 150 breeds of dog. Many dogs work for humans, doing jobs such as helping the blind, helping the police and customs officers to find drugs, and even racing. Greyhound racing is popular in many countries. The fastest greyhounds can run as fast as 65 kilometers per hour. Perhaps the most famous working dog was Rin Tin Tin, who died in 1932. He earned his money by making films. He made 50 films and earned about $44,000 for each one.
Module 11, Recording 4.
Alright, let's check together. What did you get for number 1? Is a man's best friend. Yes, dogs are called man's best friend. Number 2, 10,000 years. That's how long people and dogs have lived together. Amazing, right? Number 3, 53 million. There are about 53 million dogs in the USA alone. Number 4, $2 billion. Americans spend around $2 billion on dog food every year. Number 5, baby food. That's 4 times more than they spend on baby food. Can you believe it? Number 6, 150. There are about 150 breeds of dogs. Number 7, helping. Dogs help the blind. They're truly clever animals. Number 8, the police and customs officers. Right. Dogs work with the police and customs officers to find drugs or dangerous things. Number 9, many countries. Greyhound racing is popular in many countries. Number 10, 65 kilometers per hour. The fastest greyhounds can run as fast as 65 kilometers per hour. That's super fast. Number 11, 1932. Rin Tin Tin died in 1932. Number 12, money. He earned a lot of money. 13, making films. By making films. The next one, 50 films. He made 50 films. Number 15, about $44,000. And he earned about $44,000 for each film. A rich dog indeed. Well done, everyone. Now you know why dogs are really man's best friend. Which fact surprised you most? The number of breeds or how much Rin Tin Tin earned? We just learned many interesting facts about cats and dogs. Now it's your turn to talk about your favorite animal. It can be any animal, not just cats or dogs. Maybe a rabbit, a parrot, an elephant, or even a dolphin. Look at the screen. You can see many questions to help you. You should mention these things in your talk. What is the animal? What does it look like? What does it like eating? What can it do? How do you feel about it? Why do you like it? Try to answer all these points in your description. Here's an example. Listen to me. My favorite animal is a dog. It's medium-sized, with soft brown fur and a long tail. Dogs like eating meat and bones. They can run fast and play with people. I like dogs because they are friendly and loyal. They are really man's best friends. See? It's simple and clear. Now it's your turn. You will have 2 minutes to prepare your ideas. Then, you'll work in pairs and take turns describing your favorite animal. One student speaks and the other listens and asks 1 or 2 short questions. For example, what color is it and what does it eat? Now, who would like to share with the whole class? That's great. You all did a wonderful job describing your animals. So, today we'll talk about cats, dogs, and your favorite animals. Next time, we'll continue learning how to describe animals and their habits in more detail. Well done, everyone. Good job, class. You worked really hard today. Thank you for listening and speaking so well. Goodbye, everyone. See you in the next English lesson.